Excellent, excellent. All right, this is Charles iamBranded Madison alongside Denia Azure, Danielle Carroll, and we have this gentleman that I've been looking forward to for the last week or so to talk women's football, coaching career. How'd you get started? What motivates you? We're gonna get into the coach's mind as well. Head coach of the Nevada Storm, Coach Garza. Thank you for tuning in and hanging out with us on Nexxlegacy Sports. And how are you doing, my friend?
I'm doing great. Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate all the attention you're bringing to women's sports, especially with football. For me, it's a passion to coach women football now. I never thought I'd say that in my life, but it's become a passion for me. And so for me, I thank you for actually help projecting the ladies more so than the league, any league, the ladies first, and projecting their talents and showing what they can do.
Well, Coach Garza, you started it. Let me floodgates out. You just said that you have a passion for what you're doing right now. And my friend, I want to know why.
It's just always been there. I grew up in Central Texas and played football, my early years until they wouldn't allow me to play any longer. And for me, it's just that knowledge of teaching somebody a sport that really brings people together. And it's just an honor to be a part of the game and passing on traditions that, the future coaches that you're coaching now are going to take on and pass on to their future teams. And hopefully it's the right message that people will be able to take and live with from here on out. And so for me, I just want to be a little drop in the bucket of somebody's conversation later on down the line. So I'm just looking for football to be promoted, whether it be men's or women's, boys or girls. I just want football to be promoted and show that it's actually a game that could bring everybody together.
So let's go back and talk about just your coaching history then. So this is clearly your passion. This is what you love to do. This is a great thing. But how did you get started coaching, and when was that point in time in your life where you felt like, you know what, coaching is a form of leadership and I have the confidence to actually lead a group of men and women?
That came about in a time of my life. I just left football behind, and I never thought football would come back into my life because it just, as an athlete, just wasn't successful for me, So I'd counted football out, and one of my best friends that I went to college with, he just kind of reached out to me one day and said, "Hey, I'm coaching football out here in Nevada. Do you want to come coach with us?" And he asked for a good solid year before I said, "Okay, stop bothering me. I'll get on the plane." And 2009, I came out to Reno, Nevada, and started coaching out at Sparks High with him. Directly off the plane, got my bags, put them in the back of his truck, and he tossed me a shirt, and we went straight to the field. And for me, that was really significant because to me, it was like, okay, this is the structure that I missed, and the structure that I feel like projected me to be a better person day by day. Right. And so it just developed into that passion of, hey, I'm going to be, changing people's minds, molding people's attitudes and the way they see the game. And so I really took pride in that. And being a knucklehead coach my first year, I didn't really know what I was doing, but just it made me want to learn more. And it also reminded me how much I missed football. And when that time in my life when football was missing, it was just a blank slate that, there was no production. And without football, I truly don't think I'd still be around.
Gotcha. Danielle?
The one thing that really stood out to me was the mission that you guys have when it comes to building self-esteem and self-discipline for women. So, how was that something that you came up with? That more something that the women collectively talked about? Why is that so important for you?
For me, it's I've always said it to my team and to the women that want to join our team. For me, I'd love to build stronger women leaders in our community and do that through football. And because again, I think football connects us all. There's a lot of things and lessons that we can learn off of that. And for me, I just love empowering these women to do what they want to do and actually show other people what they can do, because they know they can do it. They just need to show other folks. And I think that football is a great platform for that, because, I mean, who doesn't want to watch football?
Exactly.
Amen.
What would you say would be the moment that you knew that you wanted to coach women's football?
I first heard of the Storm years after I'd already been living here. And I was working with somebody and they said, hey, this team really needs some good coaches. Will we go give them a look? And I went out there and I just saw a very special group of players. And, every coach sees that group and they say, they just have that little eye for a group, and they're like, hey, this is going to be the team. And for me, I got that feeling. And that was the first time I'd ever gotten that feeling in coaching. And I knew it was coming sometime, but you ask any coach and they'll always say, hey, there was one team. And for me, I felt like that was this team. And when I started coaching with them, learning about them, and it just evolved into a passion. I mean, specifically right after that.
You've been with the team for how long?
This will be my 6th year. Wait, 6th year. I always have to count.
2021 WFA Coach of the Year.
5th year, yes, sir. Coach of the Year, 2021. It was an accolade I was never expecting, and I'm definitely grateful for having that. And it was just something that was unexpected. I just thought I was coaching football. I'm just doing what I like to do.
Okay, so you weren't expecting it, but you had a great season, right?
Oh yeah.
So the confidence that I'm sure that you had with the women, along with yourself and your coaching staff, kind of got to the point where you had a season that was deemed special, correct?
Yes. And that special team was in 2019 and the 2021 championships. That the core of those women were on that team. And so, it was a very special year for us, 2021. We made team commitments, we made team goals. We slowly but surely hit every one of those. And you could just see the confidence level in the ladies just grow week by week. And it took off, and it was something great to be a part of.
When did you realize that, all right, this team, I mean, all your groups, it's just, I guess in a lot of ways, it's kind of like asking what was your favorite kid, but I don't want to go there. But there's a moment where I'm sure during the course of seasons where you're like, oh yeah, this feels special. Something about this is something that you didn't imagine, but it's here and it's kind of an out of body experience. But when was those moments, especially during your championship runs, did you realize that this is something special?
It was, I didn't even realize it was that special until we got to Canton, Ohio, and then everything just really sunk in and said, wow, this is really real now. This is something that coaches and teams work really hard to get to, and they accomplish a lot of goals to get there. We just thought we were doing our job, and doing it to the best of our ability. And for me, it's always the next game. And I just don't allow, those kind of things to really sink in too much. But
yeah,
it was Canton, Ohio, when I really realized it's like, man, we are in a really special place. We have a great team, and more so a family more than anything. And we went through ups and downs together throughout the past 2-3 seasons. One was canceled. We did the best we could with what we had, and we just proved to ourselves that we could do these things and rise up to any challenge that comes before us. The moment that it really solidified as special is when we scored our first touchdown and said, okay, we can do this. That confidence came into the game, and then it was just a whole new ball game after that. The whole team just felt it, and we all looked at each other and said, hey, we're going to win this game.
And that was in 2021, as far as that memory, that particular one.
Oh yeah, just that particular one. Yeah, I've had many with this team.
So, what, 6 seasons? So, is the 2021 your favorite child?
Yeah, I'd have to say because of the accolades and the wins and championship. I mean, that's great. 19 was a great year too. You know, and being an assistant coach in 2018, that was really a special time for me because it was less responsibility, of course, and I got to know the players very well on a personal basis and really really solidified the connections that we really needed to have between the coaching and coaching staff and players and so there's a lot of years I could say that were special for me, but yeah, 2021 would be my favorite.
Okay, Danielle.
Oh my goodness. So, what has been one of your most memorable moments on the field?
Oh, believe it or not, it would have been a kind of a lost moment. You know, we were playing really hard against Las Vegas, 2019 year, and we ended up, or excuse me, we were playing Cali War, 2019, and we were down by 4 points, you know, and we were really trying to get home and make that last touchdown to win the game, and we're in the final moments, or in the final minutes, and we just threw a great fade pass to Jessie Felker. She was wide open. We sucked them in, you know, with our run strength and just threw over the top. And I just remember that moment, seeing that ball, everybody on the sideline thinking, okay, she's going to catch this. We're going to win this ball game. And she dropped. I mean, hits her in the hand. She just drops it. And the whole sideline you could hear the whole sideline just deflate all at once, you know. And so for me, the reason why that was so special is because after that game, our team got a lot tighter, and we were more apt to accept each other's differences and failures,
Right.
and really come together to complete a really good goal. You know, in our case, it was the championship.
Coach Garza, literally, I'm hearing you talk about that, and it's reminiscent of, oh God, going back to the 70s. Remember that Dallas Pittsburgh Super Bowl where it was at Jackie Harris or something like that, wide open, dropped it. Like you said, deflating of sidelines. Oh, that's tough. That's tough.
It was a tough moment, but I think that was something that we really needed to show that, hey, everybody felt the same way, you know.
Yeah.
So that means we're on to something. Everybody wants the same goals, you know.
Definitely.
You know, so I think that's what one of the things that really brought us together, and it also fueled our team for the next year. You know, we really wanted to win.
So when it came down to the pandemic, what did you do to keep your players motivated to want to continue? Because I know a lot of sports, the players just got unmotivated because they couldn't play. So what did you do differently that kept your players motivated and ready to go as soon as they can get back out there?
You know, fortunately, we have a whole bunch of players that are very self-motivated. They that special core group of ladies, they actually kept the team together. They keep in touch. I mean, our team really considers ourselves a family. We get that close before the end of the year with one another, and for us, it was just keeping them informed, giving them workout schedules, or excuse me, you know, weightlifting schedules. They had their own workouts to do in their own backyards, and just encourage them to keep on doing it. But the biggest thing was to stay connected with the team itself, and the players of the team had to stick with other players of the team in order for us to be successful. And I think everybody understood what that meant for us. And when 2021 came around, it was just a big sigh of relief, because it was just all the stress and energy that was there, and it just needed to be released. And yeah, our ladies were just ready to go ahead and just start playing football again. That's all they want to do.
Well, that just shows how amazing you are as a coach to be able to bring them through something a lot of people couldn't get through. So congratulations to you and your entire team.
Yeah, appreciate that. Thank you very much.
And Coach Garza, you're mentioning and you're taking the temperature of your team. You talk about creating a family environment, the atmosphere. Those are things that as a coach you have to evaluate too. You have to evaluate the chemistry. It's not just a specific skill set, but how can they handle being a student in the not just the locker room, on the field, but also as they continue to help teach and coach others as well. So when you're having the ladies try out and you're not just looking for can they throw the ball, catch the ball, run, you're looking at other things. How do you pinpoint a specific player that has it? Because sometimes it's hard to do that when you're doing an initial tryout. You may have them come back for a second, maybe even a third, but what are you looking for as a coach when you're evaluating your talent?
For me, it's pretty simple for me. Are you coachable? Are you willing to take feedback? And how vulnerable can you be? And I know those are kind of off the road from traditional football checklists, because no matter what, I mean, we can take any person and make them into a football player
Right.
if they're willing to learn, if they're willing to change. It depends on the player, and you can definitely tell by just talking to some of those folks and just saying, "Hey, how do you feel today? How does this make you feel? Do you feel better after practice now, or are you nervous today?" Getting those questions answered and just really looking into their personality just a little bit before they start with the footwork and the drills and everything we make them go through. But you're absolutely right. There's certain aptitudes we really look for, and more so than any of them, vulnerability, it has to be there, because if we can't be vulnerable with one another, we can't make changes to win. Because we're never going to stay the same. We always want to get better every day.
Now, I might be asking a little bit too much, but or just you could just not even answer. But have you ever had a situation where you literally had to, cut someone, and then later you're like, you know what, I shouldn't have cut her. Like, it was just a moment where you kind of like, I just needed her to come back or whatever. Have you ever had one of those moments where you just had second thoughts or whatnot when it came to someone?
High school, youth, throughout Nevada Storm here, I've never cut a football player. For me, it's family. So, every now and then you got a squeaky wheel,
right.
Take care of. But I've never cut anybody over football, because again, I really believe football is one of those things that everybody can do and be a part of. So for me to take that away from somebody, that'd be the most devastating thing you could do to me. So right. I wouldn't do that to anybody else. So I've never cut anybody from a football team. Now, have I disciplined people? Yes, absolutely.
Right.
But I've never cut anybody from the team.
Hey, Coach Garza, bless your heart on that, because you don't hear that too often. In most cases, on most teams, high school or any other different level of athletics or whatnot. So it's cool, but I'm gonna go back to what you were talking about earlier when it comes to just spreading awareness to women's football. Not only is it important, I feel like the spotlight should be shared, not just with the men's and what they do, but also the women's and the impact that it can have within communities as well. So during your tenure and your time coaching women's football, have you seen that evolution of it start to shift? The conversations become a little bit more engaged. You may see younger women or the little girls that may come to the practices be inspired by. Talk to me a little bit about just that journey in itself, just not just being a head coach, but just seeing the evolutions of women's football.
I think it's on its way. It takes time, and a good case of like the WNBA that came up because it was really well funded. There was organized, and it was just put out there. Whereas the football leagues for women here, it's from grassroots up. There's no big deep pockets, and if there are some, then it's very limited to a couple teams or a league. I think it's starting to make a bigger splash, and I think just that the televised games are starting to impact the public, because now people are starting to recognize that there are women football players and they are really good. It's not just going to watch 12 or 22 women on the field run average football. I mean, the ladies that we have and played against are just, some of them are very elite athletes, and
Right.
they're doing amazing things. And from day one, I've always been amazed about the talents that these women have. And it's not that I wasn't aware of them. It was just that all of us outside of football are not aware of it. And for me to stumble on that team, my first thought was amazement. And so I think when thinking back to that, I think that's what other people are gonna realize and see once they start watching women's football. It's not just fundamentals; it's a real game, and these ladies can play.
What's one of the biggest lessons that you learned from one of your players?
Oh, be patient. Patience. I'm anybody on my team will tell you that I'm pretty sharp-tongued. I may not say the best. I may not have the best words in line for you, or I don't tend to know what to say at the right time sometimes. But they get to know me. They know it's coming from a very genuine place, and I truly am passionate for their improvement. So for me, it's patience and learning to just see the room a little bit clearer, and make sure that you're always there to make that emotional deposit as well.
Coach, I'm telling you, that's life lessons, because it's not just in athletics. It's something that I was probably dealing with a couple of days ago, as far as how to say the right things or what to say when it comes to certain things. Sometimes, you get so emotional because we're human that sometimes sometimes the words just don't come out right. I don't care how old you are. You're still going to learn these lessons as you go and grow and get older, right? But the thing that's cool is, we're still young at heart, and we're still trying to at least navigate through some of these, things that we're not perfect in. And I think it's excellent.
Yeah, and that's where that vulnerability comes from. Like I said, you have to have that. And if you're able to be vulnerable, I mean, you think about it, and one of the things I do tell people that try out is, you're coming out here with a bunch of strangers that you've never met before, doing something you've never done before. That in itself is pretty challenging.
Yep.
So for somebody to come out and do that is it's very unique. You don't find very many women that want to come out or guys, that want to come out and do something they've never done before in front of somebody, And so I think those kind of things, I think those things, those lessons of vulnerability and how to just be better person, better communicator, it's got to be there for football.
Season starts, is this April?
April 22nd, yeah, for us. Or 21st.
So 21st. You have your team, you have your opponents. Is there any rivalries that we need to have billboard material for before the season starts? Or what team that you don't like, or what team that you like, what, I want that team for whatever reason?
I want to start by saying I like all the teams.
Okay.
Every team that I've met, they've been very cordial with our team. Well, minus one, but we don't ever play them anymore. So different league, doesn't matter.
Okay.
Yeah, but every team that I've met is very cordial. They all have great coaches, and I try to talk to coaches after the game, before the games, and one of the things that we've all come to understand is that, especially here in the Western Conference of the WFA, we all respect one another, and we really do appreciate the other coaches that are across from us. With that said, the best games that we have played that we would say would be a rival would have to be Cali War.
Yeah.
I would say that would be our rival. Whether we like it or not, or whether they like it or not, that I think that's what it's coming down to. And I think it's a healthy rival. It's nothing like we don't like each other, because I absolutely love some of their players. On their team, and I coached a couple in the All-American game in 2021, and got to know them a little better. And for me, it's a great team, great coaching staff. Run by a good organization, great organization. We really just want to have fun with it, and then at the end of the game, put our arms around each other and say, hey, that was a great game. Let's do it again next year, or let's do it again next time at my house,
Right.
We want to have that healthy community, that healthy rivalry there, so there's no bad blood for any reason, but it just seems like they seem to be our rival and be our thorn in our side, and the same to them, every year after year. So I think
rivalry week is always fun when and it's just like, you want to go against your big brother or your big sister or something like that, and you want to show them up in some cases, or little brother or little sister or whatever the case may be. Bottom line is, the goal is to win. They're great and everything, Coach Garza. That's excellent. But I know you and your team, listen, we're gonna take this up a level every time we play you, and make it a healthy competition with no bad blood. Let's just get busy and do what we got to do.
Yep,
right.
That's absolutely right. That coaching staff that they have is a great coaching staff. They're really thought out, and I like to say our coaching staff is as well. We have a mixture of older coaches and younger coaches on our staff, and everybody brings something to the table, and it just seems to be, my staff is on fire when we play those folks, and the ladies see it, they get behind it, and the players see it on both sides, and it becomes a great game every time we play them. So
see Danielle, I feel like Coach Garza is real reserved until rivalry week, and then he's unleashed. He's like on another level. I could be wrong, but I feel like this is the calm coach right now. But game times, or when you have your rival, there's a different level to you, right?
I'm pretty smooth, and then when I become animated, and it happens. It does happen.
That's good. What about across the league right now? I mean, I'm just recently, I just started really kind of diving deep to see the level of support that not just the women's league is getting, but the commitment that a lot of these women are actually paying attention to help other teams and other leagues and things like that. Not even trying to compare it to like, the mainstream sports and athletics, the football teams or whatnot, but this feels so good. So good. So if there's people out there that is looking to, like Danielle and myself, we want to come to games and support, cover the games live, different things like that. What do you say to the people that actually is trying to, I guess in a lot of ways, just be a part of this and help it grow? Talk to some of the people that's on social media, hashtagging Nevada Storm, everything else of that nature, just trying to be able to pick up something where I think a lot of people are really starting to consume it and appreciate it as well.
As far as all that publicity goes, we've done our fair share of social media, keeping up with our websites. At this time, at point in time, you kind of have to, especially with the league and trying to gain that recognition, like you said.
Right.
But it seems to be the best way to do it. For us, it's NevadaStormFootball.com, Nevada Storm Football on Facebook. We're absolutely on TikTok as well. So, we're trying to hit up all the platforms to help bring in the younger groups of people. And we found that a lot of our games are starting to bring in younger viewers. And for us, we really like that. But as far as the league goes, the leagues have done a great job to help us promote our teams and do the best that we can to get out on those social platforms. But for me, I kind of take a step back from that with the team. I'm just a coach, and we have a social media person that takes care of all that for us.
There you go. Okay. Okay. But I know for sure it's interesting because I know I always look at sports like this. It's football, basketball, baseball. They're all different in their own right, in their own way when it comes to promoting, but also adding a human element to it as we're getting to know this coach or this player or the people behind the scenes that's putting together a league and things of that nature. But it's also cool to just have a face or a voice with the journey that each person is going through. It makes me want to root not just for the underdog, but for the person who's putting in a lot of time, effort, and practice and things like that. So with that being said, everything in social media, everything that you kind of see as a maturing league of women getting the spotlight they deserve, what else is next in your coaching career? You're going to continue to win championships, but in addition to that, what's next?
Like I told our president when I first applied for the head coaching job, I'm here till you kick me out, or for some reason I'm not here.
Okay.
I really think that I'm sticking with women's football, and I think personally I've got a commitment going on, and I think I can, I know I can be a footprint for many other coaches and many other players. I've told my team this a couple times. It's not going to be us that get famous off of this game. It's not going to be us that gets all that recognition. It's going to be the women and the young ladies that they actually inspire on the football field for them to actually follow in their footsteps and then raise us up to be a bigger culture than what it is right now, and start rivaling those of men's professional sports.
Gotcha.
I truly believe that. And for me, I think that I just want to make that one little impact of a footprint. And so I'm here with Nevada Storm. And I've looked at other coaching jobs, but during the day I'm a blue collar worker. Nighttime I'm studying football. I can't do anything but coach Nevada Storm right now.
It's in your DNA. I respect that. And not only that, I mean, one thing I respect about you from this interview and conversation alone is like there's leaders and there's people who's pretending to be, and again, a lot of the lines that you are utilizing to coach your team is what I respect too, because you have to have a level of humility in what you do in life anyways. You can't be too high, you can't be too low. You kind of have to be centered in what you're trying to do and build, especially if you're trying to build something that you really have a passion for. And you started off this interview that way as well. And before I ask you a final question, I'll let Danielle ask you whatever question or make a comment as well.
Oh, and first of all, I want to say thank you. It's been really awesome getting to know you, and I can't wait to get to know more of your players and come to the games and cheer you guys on. It's going to be super awesome. But so when you guys are just about to go out there, what is in your playlist?
So the girls have the ladies have some songs they like to listen to, but I guess Big Sean would have to be one of their favorites before they go out.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, that's the music they like. Let them do their thing,
Right on. All right, Coach. What about your own personal playlist, Coach? What's in yours?
Mine before the game, it's kind of hard. Before the game, it's usually something. If I'm around the players, I usually ask, "Hey, uppity, or what do you guys want to listen to?" I played in the '90s, so it always had to be some Motley Crue or something going on. But for me, recently before games, just something calm, smooth. Anything jazz. I love jazz theory. I love jazz music, believe it or not. So last year, I think I played the most was, I think the last year I played a bunch of electronica, like smooth electronica before games, just to kind of let's calm down, because you got to get your head right. And it's not because you want to get hyped up. It's more of a, well, I'm the leader of this team, so I better be calm and cool and collective. So that way, they'll be calm, cool, collective, and it never works out that way, but, I try.
See, Coach Garza is a Zen kind of guy. Like, I get it. I get it. It's nothing wrong with that at all.
Yeah.
And finally, what else does Coach Garza do? Like, besides coaching, what are some of the other hobbies and/or activities that you have as we're trying to get to know each other? What do you do?
I'm an outdoor guy. I like camping. I like going off and getting lost on trails. That's a lot of fun. I love barbecuing with my brother. My brother and I make some amazing barbecue, and we share it with as many people as we can, or whoever we choose to invite over. Other than that, I mean, I'm a pretty simple guy. I enjoy cooking, and I guess the other couple things, more so than anything, I love playing games. I love playing board games, video games, poker games, card games. But my forte happens to be poker.
Right on. And favorite board game is what?
Oh, favorite board game? Risk.
All right. Okay.
I had to think about which one I played most last year.
Yeah. All right.
So,
hey, as getting to know you over the course of this moment, I want to not just thank you for hanging out with us, but I'm hoping that this can be the start of many, many more as we not just approach the season, but during the season,
yes.
having these moments where we could exchange dialogue about the games and, the fact that you're all undefeated at a certain period of time and you're closing in on a championship. And, I'm putting all this into the air right now. Hopefully that'll be the case. So, that's what I would like to continue to see when it comes to success, not just the wins and losses, but how you're carrying the ability to lead this team and helping these women become leaders as well, not just within the locker room, but also when they're out in the field. And I can't thank you enough for sharing this moment with us. And here's to many more, right?
Yes, absolutely. I appreciate you very much for allowing me to come on your show here and actually just promote our team for a little bit. The ladies, I can't take away from them though. We have an amazing group of women on our team, and each one of them are talented in their own aspect, and I'm just so grateful that they allow me to coach them throughout football, and I appreciate that. So, but I appreciate you taking the time to broadcast this, and yes, I do want to see some more interviews when we're going undefeated in the season.
You better believe it. You got that right.
I love it.
You better believe it. We're going to look back on this tape as the beginning of your run.
I hope so. I really do hope so. We're going to do everything we can to make it possible.
You got that right. You got that right. Hey, Coach Garza, I appreciate it. Thank you for taking the time out. And again, like I said, here's to many, many more interviews and future success of the Storm. And Danielle and myself, we'll be at some games, and hopefully we'll be able to do some of this live too.
Hey, I appreciate it. Thank you so much for having me, and it was great meeting y'all.
Pleasure meeting you as well.
Coach Garza, soon to be what? You're going to be another Coach of the Year. I'm putting this into
come on.
as well.
Well, I'll work hard. I'll do whatever I can to get that, and maybe this time it wouldn't be so much of a surprise.
There you go. It'll be expected. That's right.
Yeah, we'll that one step at a time.
One step at a time. One game at a time. One practice at a time. Hold on, let me go backwards. One practice at a time. So, Coach Garza, thanks again.
Hey, thank y'all.
All right. Take care. Coach Garza, that is the